All right, good evening. Tarot Ass Backward here. It's Wednesday, the 29th November 2023. This video is going to be off-putting to some. And I just wanted to preface it by saying it is for entertainment purposes only. However, this premise that this truce can be extended by a day between Israel and Hamas for every 10 hostages that Hamas agrees to release kind of scares me in a way. And I'll tell you why. They only have so many, right? Does Israel go back and start playing again, and the fighting begins again, and more people are taken hostage, and then we go through this cycle again and again and again? I ask because we've been going through it on a 50-year continuum or 60-year continuum. And even though we can say left and right that a terrorist state initially began this, the reason I'm calling this bargaining for peace, held hostage, is that I find it kind of repulsive that just for peace's sake, human lives are kind of being used as barter here. Meaning, I know both sides are getting hostages released, but I just see humanity as currency. And how does that embody peace, even if we're in a truce? I hate to say it again, you guys, but it's like that yes is no, no is yes paradigm. We're being sent the wrong message here. So what happens when Hamas runs out of people? Didn't they take 200, 300? And they give 10 every day? How much time does that buy us? I also know there have been allegations that on a couple different occasions, Hamas may have violated, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, the truce. So I guess the energy of this reading is the truce, but more pointedly, what happens when all of the hostages are released? All of the ones that were taken in the beginning. So I am using the maybe Lenormand for this. I hadn't planned on reading on this, but I just don't know if I've ever heard of anything like this in my lifetime. And I find it very kind of discouraging that we live in a world where we want peace, but we don't want peace for peace's sake. We want peace in this particular instance because either it's a bargaining tool to get more humanitarian aid into Gaza, or it's because we want the hostages back, or we want everything, but maybe we want nothing if we're Netanyahu and we're crooked for entertainment purposes only. I just find everything going on in that part of the world right now, obviously for the obvious reasons, disconcerting, but for maybe the ones not being discussed, disconcerting as well. So, God of my angels, peace for peace's sake, one at a time. The lives that they take, simply because they're released, doesn't mean it's all been fake. Over time, hundreds and hundreds of hours, many decades, We've been on this precipice, and no one knows what to make of this. Is this going to be worth the price of admission to call a truce when all it could do is be of no use? Please tell me what the energy of this truce is. And what happens should all of the original captives Hamas took be turned loose? Loose and truce, get it? Alright, I'm gonna use the Lenormand. I am eating dinner at the same time, you guys. Kind of want to watch a couple other ones. And by the way, please like and subscribe. Viewership is considerably down. I have not felt like paying out of pocket to promote this channel recently. I might soon again. My guides call me to do it, but again, anything worth doing takes time. So in that syllogism, I guess A is B and B is C. Worth doing is worth investing, right? Okay, please give me the energy of this. All right, right in the middle, the man. And I didn't set an intention as to who this could be. I guess, let's call this Hamas. Okay, the seduction or an offer. The sun. The change card. So let's see here. I feel as if in some ways Hamas is holding all the cards right now. I know the firepower and all of the maybe all of the weaponry and Israel's army and Israel's military strength is greater, but the seduction, because with the rose I get seduction, the seduction of the sun brings to light change, but the seduction is knighting to Hamas, if I call this the Hamas card. And again, I didn't set the intention initially, it's just what I'm feeling, you guys. And I didn't set the intention having seen the top three cards, but it's hanging over Hamas. Okay, so maybe what this means is the promise that Hamas is making, or the promise made to Hamas, or the promise, yeah, if it's on top of Hamas, the promise made to Hamas, right? The promise that brings to light change. All right, so let's see what the other cards are. Affects Hamas somehow. The sun on Hamas, the spotlight on Hamas, the change on Hamas, the seduction of Hamas. So it might not be about Hamas in power, because all of this is on top of it. Um, the seduction that brings to light the change we're seeing now further stokes or fans the flames for Hamas to send more messages. I don't like this, you guys. The seduction of the spotlight and the change in power is what I'm getting, or the transfer of hostages, or all of that, or the aerial view of Gaza that is brought to light. The seduction of bringing to light or bringing in change is a trick that is further stoked by Hamas to send a message about who's in control. So I'm still seeing Hamas in power here some ways, you guys. Let's keep going. All right, so what's tugging at the heartstrings is the seduction and the light promised by it. That change is a choice that can be made. If the right terms or the right reputation is maintained, stoked, and Hamas can send a message to, and I'm calling this Jerusalem because it's an institution. It's not a tower card like in the tarot. I feel like the answer to my question is Israel is getting a lot of pressure put on it to cease and desist, even though Hamas as a terrorist organization started this. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting the obvious. We need more cards. The strength and the pride that pulls at the heartstrings to seduce with the promise of change is a choice that threatens the independence, because the cat is looking at all of this. The cat's looking at all of it, but we have the cat and we have the bigger version of the cat here. We have the lion. in a way. So the pride, the nationalism, that tears at the heartstrings, that renders too seductive an opportunity to release the hostages out of the darkness and into the light, could potentially bring a change that would force a choice, because you got a choice here, that would threaten the independence of Israel. An agreement, such that an agreement that further enhances the reputation of Hamas, because this is stoking the flames, this is reputation, and this is Hamas, sends a message to Israel that entraps them, ensnares them. I don't like this, you guys, and makes them beholden to Hamas, is what I'm getting. So this 10 hostage a day thing that they want to extend the truce up to 6 days. I'm not saying Hamas, the answer is not to go in and continue to attack. I'm not suggesting that. But what I'm suggesting is just to bide time. Biding time is not a solution. I don't see any sort of, the only agreement card I see is this card here. And it knights to the promise of seduction that allows the reputation of Hamas to send a message. And Israel is seduced by this message and the trickery. If they keep doing this 10 hostage a day thing, it gives them power. Even though there are military operatives or other people being held from the Hamas side, and others, I feel it's still that the leverage is with Hamas and the Arab world from these cards. Let's take a look with the pendulum, if you don't mind. Let's look at what we would draw if we kept going. Yeah. Caretaking and Donald Trump thrown in the mix, the 45 card. I feel like this is what Donald Trump started, or allegedly started, and it's just gone into all kinds of chaos. Everything they allege about Jared having brokered peace deals over there. It's just a situation that's going to degenerate into something worse. This is headed in that direction. The Rider. Yeah, the Book of Secrets. Okay, so the Book of Secrets that's being brought about what under 45 was done are going to come out, which could further complicate things over there. Yeah, the Scythe. Further dividing through the secrets that come in. I mean, if we're from 45's administration, If you think about administration card. I don't like this. Where is my beloved and trusty pendulum? I don't know why I cleaned this up, because once I do, I never can find anything. Well, let's do this. Let's use Mr. Predicto. And then we'll do some knighting, and then we'll get this uploaded. Good evening.
It is best not to say now.
Yeah, I know, but we're gonna ask anyway. Is this 10 hostage a day thing a short-term solution that will have long-term negative repercussions?
It cannot be determined at this time.
Can peace in the Middle East ever be achieved?
It is a certainty.
Could all of this human sacrifice, whether it be hostage and death, be part of the energy shift that we need to make this work? If you say it's a certainty that there can be peace, do people have to die like this for this to happen?
Highly doubtful.
So so then if dying's not the issue, dying won't be the answer to solving it, but people are dying and people are going to continue to die. Do they just go back? Does Hamas just go back in, or does Israel go back in and start taking more hostages once each side runs out?
It is a strong possibility.
All right. Thank you. All right, so let's take a look again. I just don't, based on my question and the answer, I just don't have a good feeling about this, you guys. Not that it's catastrophic World War III level, but cat's out of the bag that the message by which Hamas is using to seduce the promise of a peace accord tugs at the heartstrings of Israel and puts Hamas in the spotlight, in the world spotlight, as a powerful institution or government. How Hamas could be seen as like a nation state, a terrorist nation state that could rise to power is above me, but I'm kind of seeing that here. That's able to ensnare people with the promise of change that they continue to stoke the flames of through the use of force and power that enhances Hamas's reputation and forces a choice. And this is initially Jerusalem. Remember, I said this could also be Jerusalem. Forces a choice by Jerusalem Remember, Donald Trump made Jerusalem the capital of Israel, didn't he? Yeah. So, okay, that's that. Bye.